Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Dev, founder of The Iron Father, where we're all about men recalibrating, rebuilding, and thriving in the second half of their life. Post 50 and divorce, getting their bodies right, their mind right, their emotions right. And today, y'all, I'm coming at you with one of my boys. We're going to have a field report of how it is. And I want you all to kind of get an understanding how a coaching call would go. And my boy is going to break down some things. We're going to just chop it up like we normally would on a call, but you get to be privy to how the conversation flows. So let me introduce my boy, Eddie Vance. Eddie Vance, that's what you want to be called, Eddie Vance? All
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir. Eddie Vance is good.
Eddie Vance, let me introduce to you my boy, Eddie Vance. We go way back. And I can tell you, this man has been instrumental to me as I was going through a divorce. And there were a lot of things that he had already experienced that he was able to really school me on. And we still chop it up on a regular basis. Again, we've been knowing each other for decades. So I know this brother has a lot of good things that he could share with a lot of you that now may be 50 and over that are kind of wondering, do I leave this marriage? Should I make this marriage work? Because let me say this real quick. Not every man should be quick to leave his marriage. I have one client that, he said basically, hey, I want to be married. I said, okay, then if that's what you want, then let's work about now you becoming the man you're supposed to be because you want to be married. But know what you want. And actually, Eddie's going to talk about that of knowing what you want. But, first, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Well, first of all, I'm just thankful and gracious that you invited me to your platform. It's happy to be here, and now we can talk and kick it about the other stuff, and other people can hear what we have to talk about our experiences. So,
Daddy.
first of all, I want to thank you, my brother, and I'm proud. So, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Ooh, down to the nitty gritty. Thank you, man. Thank you for being willing to come on and talk because most fellas aren't willing to do so. So I figure we just probably can go about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Just again, we chop it up like we normally do. We just won't do our normal three,
Well,
four
if we
hour
do it like we
conversations.
normally do, we're
Right.
gonna be on here for 3, 4 hours. So I don't know if you got that much time.
Exactly. I want to kind of mimic this just as we would do on kind of a coaching call because, I'll say, as you kind of said to me, kind of the student has become the teacher in some areas.
Oh, for
So,
sure, for sure,
but
for
again,
sure.
it's based on stuff that you started teaching me when I first was going through my divorce process, and you put me up on some game. So if I can start out with the first kind of question to you to kind of get us started. How has the dating life been for you after divorce?
Well, actually, the dating life is what you make it. Because with the mentalities of a lot of these females out here is estranged. So you have to kind of align yourself with their mentality. But I want to say that as long as you know yourself,
Mm,
you don't have to deal with that mentality. So there's different levels of into it. When I first started out and I got my divorce, I separated and did all of that stuff and finally got divorced. It was like, oh, I'm free. So let me go out here and dip my toe and let me go out here and implement all these plans I had that I couldn't do with her.
mm,
But once I got into that and started doing it, I started realizing how I wasn't in touch with myself.
mm,
So the main key that I can say for anyone going through that, know who you are. That's the first thing. Know who you are and stick by it. Because nobody's going to stick by it but you.
mm.
As Cat Williams says, it's called self-esteem.
Well, and that's why I'm glad I started with that question because that's usually the first thing that I tell guys is figure out who you are.
Yes.
Now, so then let me ask you this. I know why I say it's important to know who you are. Why do you say it's important to first know who you are?
Because going back to trying to get these other women in dating, you conform to their mentality.
Mm,
And it's still like the same thing in your marriage. You're conforming, well, your past marriage, you're conforming to satisfy that woman. And your needs mentally and physically are not getting met. And so you put yourself into that same trap of wearing gold chains, getting big rims, doing all of these things to get these women. But you really don't like that. So knowing yourself will stop all of that time wasting, because
Okay.
that's all it is, just time wasting.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I think it almost reminds me of that scene, and I'm going to get you, sucker. When Doodoo had been in like prison for I don't know how many years, and he came out and had his pimp clothes on and the
Yeah,
fish in his shoes. That is kind of what it feels like. And I'm sure a lot of guys know that feeling. They getting back out here. Imagine guys like I got married in 1995.
yes,
So
sir.
when I got married, it was still, hey, what's your phone number kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
fast forward into this world today, and it's like, what's this online game talking about? And you're right.
yeah,
If you don't know who you are, you will run back and start using the same, we'll say,
yeah.
ungame that you had when you
And that's
were a
exactly
kid.
what I did, because you got to remember, at the cusp of the internet dating phase is when I got my divorce.
Mm,
So I jumped head into that lifestyle. That's why I'm not into it anymore. I don't really do any social media because I burnt myself out on it,
mm,
because they're basically looking for something imaginary. And during that time, by me being fresh out, it's like being fresh out of jail. I'm fresh out. So I'm trying to conquer everything that's out there by any means necessary. And that's when you start transforming back into being someone else that's not you. But once I started becoming me and understanding who I was and what I wanted, that time stopped being wasted. The disrespect and the intolerance was done and over with.
mm.
So I found my happiness and my joy and my peace. And the first signs of, as they say, quote unquote, red flags, you got to leave. It's
Mm,
not going to get better.
mm, mm. And that, let me ask you this, because, okay, this is definitely how a traditional call would go. What
Hmm.
are your red flags, and do you tell them to women?
Yes, you have to. That's the first key, is honesty. Because if you're not honest with them, you're not going to be honest with yourself.
Mm,
So you have to be honest. That's the first thing. So when you tell a woman now, like, look, I don't like you wearing different colored sparkle hair. That's just my preference.
mm,
To me, in the lifestyle in the world that I was into, when you do that type of stuff, you look like a dancer, a prostitute, somebody's that's not in my lifestyle now. So you wouldn't fit in. So I have to say no. And then by me being 50, over 50, I can't deal with someone who made a decision in their life at an over 50-year-old age to have a young child.
mm.
I'm, that's not what I want to do. I've done that. I live that lifestyle. People want to call it selfish, but you have to be to get what you want to make yourself happy. And if you're not making yourself happy, how can you make somebody else happy?
Mm. So do you think that a lot of guys don't even really know even what makes them happy when they first get divorced?
No, because they did exactly like what I did. This is my opinion. They did exactly what I did. They jumped out there. Hey, I'm free. I'm fresh out. I'm on parole.
Right.
So, that's the first thing that they do, which is it's nothing wrong with that, but you got to tone yourself, you got to hone yourself into what you really want and what you're
Mhm.
really looking for.
Mm, mm,
So like right now, I don't want to be in a relationship. It's not worth it. The effort and my peace and happiness is way more worth it.
mm,
So I can't. When I was married, I was trying to stay with the woman I fell in love with,
mm,
not understanding that she changed and she became something else that I
mm.
couldn't tolerate. And it took me longer to figure that out than it should have.
Okay.
So that's the thing when I say wasting time and everything and recognizing who you are. So you have to be on the same page with a partner, because if they, especially I got married young.
Okay.
Like you said, you got married in 95, I got married in 97. So being young, you change. You're supposed to. You're an adult. If
Right.
you don't change, do the same thing, you're just stuck in the child's mentality.
Yeah.
So you have to change. It's about, are you going to be able to tolerate your partner's change?
Yeah. All right, man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So, all right, now again, if this was a traditional call, one of the things I would certainly ask you is, now that you, in your case, you've gotten a divorce. So
Yeah.
then the question becomes,
A struggle through it. A struggle. I hate to interrupt you, but
huh?
a struggle through it. Women claim to be more responsible. They claim to be more mature, but I had to pay extra money because she wouldn't sign the papers. For what
Oh,
reason? I have no idea. Was it just to cost me extra money, or was it just to say, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do what you want to do. But okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's a little
actually,
bit of my bitterness coming out right
well, okay, let's roll with that then. I'm gonna roll with that. I will backtrack on where I was about to go because I'm cool with even the road you just went down
there.
because I think there's a lesson in that. So when you say you struggle through it, because again, I have my theory. Most men are stupid and most men are lazy. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
fight for nothing. They just say,
Yep.
"Well, I'm gonna just give her everything." And man, I hear story after story
Yep.
from women telling me that their husbands don't go to the court hearings, or number two, they just be like, well, what does this mean? They're going to the wife that is divorcing them and asking, can you explain what these court papers mean? To me, that's no different than me and you having a run in with the police, and then we go inside the courtroom, or worse, we get being interrogated, and I'm up under the light like, I don't know, what should I say? What did y'all say I did? And they
Yeah,
said, oh, well,
exactly.
you want to
Cops
talk?
pull you
Okay.
over. You know what I pulled you over for? Yeah, because I was speeding. I ran the red light and
So
everything.
right.
Same thing.
What else you
Yeah.
want to charge me with, officer?
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
what were some of the things that you learned then in your process before you got out here to date? What were some of the things you learned in divorce that you think other guys will be able to benefit from?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, what I've learned, you got to remember, my scenario and my situation was totally different because my ex-wife wanted to portray herself as a masculine man. For some reason, she thought that was the way to be. So my terms and stuff is a little bit different. Anything that's aggressive, any woman that's not showing her softness and stuff like that, that's a red flag to me, and I got to step away.
Mm.
And backing your car up inside a parking space too. I really don't like that either. But I'm weird because of that stuff. I'm from Detroit. You got to remember that.
All right, all right. So would you say that for a lot of guys, when yours lingered on, did that impact you getting back out here in the game and dating because you still had a lingering divorce?
Yes, and also me not being healed during that time. I
Mm.
wanted to prove myself and show that I can get through this and get this chick, that chick, and show her, look, I can do this without you. Even
Mm.
though I was doing it without her from the beginning, because one thing she did was bring me pain and anguish. So making sure that you can get through stuff, that's what it goes right back to what I'm saying, knowing yourself.
Yeah.
And when you truly know yourself, you know what you can tolerate and put up with. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing is know what you can tolerate. If you get a chick with 6 kids and you know you don't like kids, why are you wasting your time with that chick with
Mm.
6?
Well,
If you
cause
get a
she
chick that likes
easy, man. She got 6 kids. I know she putting it out pretty easily.
and that's the easy part of being a fresh divorcee. That's the easy part because you know everybody gets those type of chicks. They
Hmm.
try to act like they're a value, but they're not. They're a dime a dozen. And us being good parents, and like I said, we've known each other for years. We're good parents. We're good fathers, and we're a commodity that we know that everybody wants, but we still try to do that with people that don't deserve it.
Mm.
So you got to know and have discernment on who deserves it, because they'll tell on themselves. You just let them talk long enough, they're gonna tell on themselves. And that's what anybody, a man, woman, cat, dog, they will tell on themselves. Just listen long enough.
Man, that's good stuff. That y'all see, this is why I went to this brother for the game that he was dropping on me early on when I had to get back out here.
Well, if you had called me earlier, I would have been talking something totally different. I would have been telling you how to go to the bar, how to pull up, get something shiny because they like something
they
shiny.
like something shiny. They always want something shiny, huh? Yeah, yeah, you're
But
right.
hey, it's different now as I get older. my peace is more important than a piece of pussy.
Woo! Say that again one more time for the
My
congregation.
peace is more important than a piece of pussy.
Brother, what you talking? All right, so do you think a lot of guys out here, especially those that continue to stay married, do
Mm-hmm.
you think that they are still choosing the pussy over the peace?
Well, no, I think they were doing what I was doing. They were still in love with that person they fell in love with,
Ooh,
even though they changed. The person you fall in love with is not going to be the same person that you marry. It's not going to be the same person after years and years of you being together. So either you have to accept that, or, and what a lot of us do is we accept it, and they're not changing for the good.
yeah, I like that.
That's why the grass is always greener on the other side. They look to going on the other side instead of looking at what they have.
And, you know, I always say that we as guys tend to look at our wives as with wife goggles. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of guys are
Yeah.
out here, they dating or not dating. They have a wife that may have put on 50, 100, 150, 200
Oh
pounds,
yeah, and yeah.
and they
See, that's
still
the big.
think that every dude want to get with her. And it's like, no, dude, you really the only one that still want to knock out your wife. The average
Yeah.
dude on the street ain't thinking. Now, if it's free, you know, we'll go through a hole in the wall. But if it's free, it's one thing. But ain't no dude checking for your wife, bruh. So you ain't got to be willing to fight over her. You shouldn't be so insecure and scared that she gonna go out here and get with somebody. And it causes them to actually have a bond. And I think this is where men need to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Do
Correct.
you really love her? And it's okay. We ain't all these macho dudes where you can't love a woman. No, we're not saying that. But know the difference between still being in love with this woman and admit that, hey, it's gonna take a while for me to get over being with her. I don't know if I can handle being with another woman right now. At least
Mm-hmm.
know that. But don't be like large professor faking the funk. You up here faking the funk thinking you just gonna be able to go out here and start dating. Because as I think all of us guys
It's the
know,
hope.
huh?
It's the hope that they're going to get better.
It's the hope, and it ain't
It's
gonna
the
happen.
hope, and like you said before, I'm gonna touch back on that. The laziness of us not doing our part either,
Yeah,
because we still got to take accountability for ourselves. So that's one of the things too. We allowed them to turn into this way. When before they got 100 pounds overweight, they got 10 pounds overweight.
mm.
Now we should have been saying something then at the 10 pounds before it got to the 100.
But then I'm a
Now, if they didn't want to
narcissist.
listen, then that's when we should have had to say, "Hey, then if you want to keep going on this path, I got to go." That's one of the things that I regret. I seen what path it was going down, and I had the
Mm.
power to stop it. I chose not to because I had that hope, because I
Mm.
was in love with that person from back in the day, but not the person who they are now.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that's. I like how you phrase that. I like how you phrase that. And we don't want to give that girl up, especially if we got with her in the teenage or early 20s
Yeah,
years. You
and we
thinking
get
you found your
comfortable,
unicorn.
and you get comfortable.
Comfortable. Yep. You get comfortable, which stops you from looking at who you are because you're
Mm-hmm.
chilling. You ain't even have to develop yourself, which actually ends up making the woman hate and despise you even more because now you're a dude
Oh,
that's
pretty much.
stagnant. All right, let me ask you this one. What type of experiences would you like to share with the other guys about making that divorce move? I tried to let you know what we're gonna be talking about.
Okay.
I'm like, you ready for
Okay. I
this
thought you
one?
was gonna get to another level or something. But okay, I can accept that question. You know where my mind goes when you say stuff like that. Go ahead.
Yo, well, what type of experience? We might get to that on some future shows. We're gonna start with the one-on-one level game today, maybe. But what type
Okay,
of
we're gonna
experience?
start off like third grade game.
There it is. Hey, we're gonna throw that third grade game for these guys. What type of experiences would you like to share with other guys, really about making that divorce move? And you already kind of gave a little bit of insight on that. Is
Mm-hmm.
there anything else you wanted to add?
Get an attorney.
Mm,
Get an attorney. It'll make the process a whole lot smoother, a whole lot easier, less arguing. It might cost you a little more money, but you're already paying. You're already going to be paying. Do your research. Make sure you get a good attorney. Male, female, cat, dog. Doesn't make a difference. You have to be represented, because if you try to represent yourself and you go in there try to do things is right, your mind is not in the right space.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a whole total transition. You need somebody to represent you without your emotions being involved. Because this is your life.
Mm-hmm.
This is the letter of the law, your livelihood, your money, the only way you can support you or your kids.
Mm.
So you got to make sure that you have somebody to represent you, because you can't do it yourself when you're under emotions. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Men have emotions too. It's just different. We don't wear them on our sleeve, but
Mm-hmm.
we have emotions too. So you things can get emotional. My best recommendation is to get a good attorney that you guys are on the same page, and then work from there.
Okay.
And no contact with the ex, because contact with the ex is going to bring you back into the way we used to. Remember, I used to pull up in the car and conversations dip and deviate from what really needs to happen. Those papers being signed.
But wait a minute, man. Well, I gotta help her out because she needs some help. She still need me to come over there and change the lights because you know that smoke detector going off. Chirp, chirp.
Yep.
So you
Oh,
know she still
oh
needs
my. Yeah.
she needs that. So shouldn't I
All
still
needs to
be
be
helping her
changed.
out? Or for the kids? I still need to help her for the kids, right?
When kids hit a certain age, they got to learn too. I started off at 13 years old, discovering how to be a man and what a man needs to be. And I mean, really discovering, because I had to do it. So, hey, I think tough times, it helps make a child better. And for the women that make the bad decisions on, if you wanted to stay with me, we would stay together and work it out. So don't try to fish me into it now when it's time for me to leave and I finally done made my decision. So
Ooh.
now you want to change my mind again. I can't fall for that anymore. They're using the same tricks they did to keep you back then, to keep you from leaving. And then after you said you want to leave, this is just my opinion and my experience. They like to see you miserable. The worst thing you can do for an ex is be happy. If you guys want to get revenge on your ex, be happy. Not fake, not phony, just generally happy.
Wow. It's funny, I won't name them just in case. I'll leave them nameless. But a woman who is married to another guy I know, she has a statement and she is very fit. She is extremely fit. And her statement was something like the best revenge on an ex is having a better body or building, having a fantastic body. And that in
Okay.
and of itself, because I've learned obviously being a trainer, is that usually women come to you, A, when they are about to get divorced,
Yep.
B, for a wedding, if they want to get in shape for a wedding. And, generally C might be a kid's event or something. But generally, they want to be tight for that wedding and then for the divorce after the dude is gone because she knows she's about to get back out here on the market. Now,
Mm-hmm.
dudes need to remember that as well because, we just sometimes don't care. But the reason why I start with what she said is that what's that revenge that people want to get? And a lot of people, they may want to get their bodies together. And I do think, obviously, that they should.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need to like and subscribe to the Iron Father. Let the Iron Father get you guys on a program. And there's actually an Iron Woman program as well. But if you want to get your
Iron
divorce
people,
body
be
in there,
polite.
oh man,
Iron people.
we ain't about being PC because the women that rock with me, and I just had a call with one before that we're airing now, or we're recording this now, and she said, you need to start talking to the women because the men don't want to do anything. So I do have some iron ladies out there. So don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. If you want to get that body together, reach out, let me know below, and also email me and share this video for more stuff we're going to talk about. But it's not just about getting your body together because that revenge goes into what you said, being
Mm-hmm.
happy. Because people want to see
Happy.
you miserable
Yeah.
without them.
And you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna testify, because as look at me right now, uh, I used to be in a lot of weight. I'm not gonna put down my exact weight what I used to be, but from dealing with my brother Devin, and well, dang, is that your real name on here?
Yeah, I use my government name on here. You can use that. I,
Oh,
I, I
okay.
use
Well,
it. You good.
my bad, my bad. Well,
You
from dealing
good.
with my homeboy after all these years, he convinced me to get my body together, and it to me. I was one of those lazy guys. Like, hey, look, I don't need to get my body together. I can put these fresh clothes on. I can put this on. Like I said, I'm from Detroit, Stinky Pete Gators, Detroit players. But I, I didn't. You got to pay me to pick things up and put them down. But I felt better. It's not only just your body getting better. It helps you have a routine. It helps you see gains. So it's
Yes.
not only just your body; it's a mental
Yes.
thing too. So it's all coming to play together. It all
Yes.
comes into play together. So don't doubt your health and your mental state with, oh, I got to go work out or anything like that. No, it helps you get structure. And that's the only thing really helps this world go round is structure, not chaos.
Man, I love that because I look at it as most guys need to go look at the mirror, look at themselves naked.
And if anybody think I'm lying about it, I can show you some pictures when I was super chubby. That is not a lie.
Feel free if you want to send some over. I'll cut them into
Oh,
the
I most
video.
definitely will because people gonna think I'm lying just because you're my homeboy.
Right. No, and we both been there because I still remember us going out to a swim event when we were younger. I didn't want to pull my
We wouldn't
shirt
take
off.
our shirts off.
Right,
We
exactly.
wouldn't take our shirts off, brother. Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. Dudes need to stop, go look in the mirror, take your shirt off, and just realize again, it's not about just getting your body tight, but the body is a reflection of what's often going on the
Yes.
inside. And so if
Yes.
you embarrassed right now with your shirt off and you don't want no woman to look at you, you covering up boobies like she is. Oh, don't look at me. If
Yeah.
that's your fear, you are going to actually take that right into your interaction with the woman. I mean, what if you date some girl and they at a hotel, y'all at a hotel or something. She's like, let's go swimming, and your head like, do I want to pull my shirt off up in front of her?
And that takes you away from your joy. And see how
Boom.
that takes away your insecurities will
Yes.
take you away from your joy. So that's why I say they go together.
Yep.
And that way, hey, don't make a difference. But some people don't care. They 800-900 pounds, they'll take their shirt off in a heartbeat. You take Big Pun, for example, but
Yeah.
you see what the end result of Big Pun being Big Pun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. I look at it, especially men over 50, it's that confidence.
Yes.
Just as a woman wants her body right to be confident, guys, I want you to be at least physically confident and take that physical confidence as well, bring that internal, because when you're disciplined, as they say, and I think old CT Fletcher said this,
It's
your mama
structure.
will lie to you, your girl will lie to you,
Yeah.
but the steel don't lie to you. And when you
No.
get that together, because you can even act fake and be like, I got a whole lot of money, but nobody know your bank account. You can
Yeah.
be like, oh, I'm so good at this, that, and the third, but nobody knows. People know when they look at you whether you're really about the life that you say you are. That's what your
Yeah.
body does. So again, reach out and holler at me.
Because
Let's
it's
get it
the
together.
first thing that you see.
Yes.
People say, oh, you got to judge them by their personality, everything like that. That's garbage. First thing you see is we're visual. We're visual creatures. And if you're not attracted to that, then move on. And see,
Yeah.
that's the thing about being real with yourself. And some people accept being sloppy, lazy, muffin top because there's other losers out there that accept it. I
Yeah.
just don't want to be a loser. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
don't want to call those people losers. I'm gonna make them a new term: non-structured individuals.
Non-structured individuals. I think some guys I hear, like my coach, he calls them what, NPC, non-player characters or something like that. Because I ain't a gamer. And he like these
I
dudes
didn't want to
just
get off
there.
into that part of it.
They just there. They just out there. They don't really mean nothing. They don't do nothing. And that's a good point. That's a question. When you got into the game, what kind of competition do you think you have, especially in your area being in Detroit? When you look at the other guys that's out here, what's your competition looking like?
In Detroit is flash. Everything in Detroit is flash, and look at me now. They don't care about their bodies. They don't care about nothing because they're honing into those individuals, man or woman, that they're like. Their mentality, and the mentality now is money, 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 money.
Mm.
What I can do for you. Let me show you the game. I was into that same game when I first got back out there. Hey, I got the big rims and I was shiny and I was doing all of that type of stuff. Still a super fat dude. Seat broke from leaning back on it on a doggone $60,000 car. Now, what sense that make?
Mm.
That
Mm.
doesn't make any sense. All because I was trying to portray something that I wasn't. But when I started getting healthy and everything and realizing what I really want.
Okay.
and realizing what I really want to do and then putting that structure in place. And that's something people don't really want to understand is that structure and that get up and go-ness. That's why they say that the generation World War One was the greatest generation and everything like that, because they had the structure of I do this, I do that, I do this, and this is going to be the result. And that was the result. And now it's totally different. You can do those same things and somebody can get on the internet and make $1 billion
Yep.
and you still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you stay focused and you run your path and you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good. Now, has divorce and your life now, has it been better than you expected to be, or has it been a little bit more difficult than you expected it to be?
It's been 100% better.
Try not to have me so
1000% better.
excited.
Man, I gotta be excited because I'm happy now.
Mm,
I gotta be excited because I'm happy. I realize my peace. And the women that I deal with now understand I am not dealing with that extra drama. You want to bring extra drama, you go over to Pookie and Ray Ray. You go over to them. Don't bring it to me. So that was the thing that I pulled out of being a divorced man. Is like, okay, I don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. It's
mm.
not necessary. I have no obligation to them. And when I understood my true happiness and felt it, it's like a drug. You don't want to just give it up for anyone.
Wow. Wow. That's deep.
Man, happiness is powerful,
That's
especially when you
deep.
get especially when you get over 50,
Yeah.
because your tolerance levels has really lacked. Has really like I'm not gonna say lacked, but it's got a real short. It got a short fuse. Got a
Yeah.
short fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm ecstatic. I am enjoying myself 100%, and it is great.
But what about, aren't you scared you're going to be a lonely old man?
No, because I've worked hard and I've set myself up where I can get someone to come clean my house. I can get someone to come cook my food. I can get someone to come lay in my bed. And then when I'm tired of them, I can tell them to go home. But I also have ones that you can come over, stay the weekend, and we can cuddle together.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
op- it's options. It's not braggadocious. It's not anything like that. But it's the freedom to have that option.
Yeah.
And some of the ones that stay the weekend, they might stay a little longer. But as soon as you go off my standards, you got to go.
How have women dealt with dealing with a man, especially at your age, that actually has standards?
Well, I know that I can tell you about the women that dealt with me. I'd have had my windows bust out. I'd have had a TV knocked over. I'd have had tires cut. Let's see. I'd have had one punch me in the lip.
Okay, give us one of the this is definitely gonna be another story or another show. Give us one that you care, if you care to share,
Okay.
a story of how it got to that point and how you reacted. Because this is, I mean, we got to tell the truth. Sometimes it
Okay.
ain't always gonna be
Hey,
rosy. You
I'm
might have some
100%
drama. You're
honest.
dealing
I
with
don't
women.
mind.
All right, share with it,
I,
whichever one you want to share.
okay, I'm gonna give you. I cared about this girl. I really liked her.
Okay.
We had some of the same interests, and we used to go to car shows together and uh, do weapons things and stuff like that. And the only issue that I had with her was she liked to drink too much.
Mm.
I like to take a little taste every once in a while myself, but she would overdo it sometimes, and I looked past that. I gave up my standards, and when I did that, that's when my 70-inch TV got knocked down. Um, she destroyed partially my home, and I didn't put my hands on her, but she wanted me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to call the police on her,
Mm.
and I had the police escort her out my house.
Mm. Wow.
So yeah, that's one of the things where if you tolerate something, that you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care who it is. So that's why you have to stick by your rules, or you're gonna be unhappy, or you're gonna be buying a new 70-inch TV. Even though I upgraded though, even though
Oh,
I
might as
upgraded
well.
yeah, but oh, it was 100. I got 100 now, but still, I shouldn't have had to go through that where I had to involve, especially us being black.
Right.
You have to involve the police to get you out.
Yeah.
And I asked her during that situation several times, leave, leave. Oh, well, I've been drinking. Okay, I know you've been drinking. Go sit in the car. But get out of here. You need to be out of my area.
Yeah.
So with that situation, which was only, like I said, I'm still a fledgling in this, which was a few years ago. I don't have a woman over to my house anymore unless we have a proper understanding.
Wow. Wow. When you look back at that situation and how you managed it, is there anything that you would do differently?
I would have called my sister over here to whoop her ass. That's what I would have done differently. But I wouldn't have done that. But
Like you said, hey, we can't do certain things, but we can
I
call
can't touch
somebody
her,
else.
but I can call my sister. She would have
Right.
whopped her up real good.
Right.
But pretty much, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I didn't touch her. I didn't stay with her, and I told her that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
And you have to leave. So that's what the authorities are here for, even though she's black.
Yeah.
But I made sure that, hey, look, she's drunk and I just want her out the house.
Right.
She can sit in front of the house in the car and do all of that type of stuff. Sounds great.
Right.
But I want her gone.
But I mean, was there anything like in your interaction looking back with her, like, yeah, I should have saw that sign, or I should have saw that she could go ahead and get like that. And would you change any of that? Would you have booted her before since it turned out the way it did?
Yeah. It's been a few times where she's overdrank.
Okay.
And got to that belligerent state. And I was saying to myself, oh, they just made the drinks too strong. Oh, she just had too many.
Yeah.
So I still take accountability for myself, because if I had stopped it then, we wouldn't got to the point where the TV being destroyed and had to call the.
And this is probably a real good example of when I'm working with guys, that's what I want to know, because for me, obviously, I will not deal with a woman that drinks or has any addiction. It is a zero tolerance thing for me. If she is a drinker, she better do that outside of me. Now, I'm not going into just, out to dinner, having one drink. I will actually say, if it was a woman that I'm just dealing with knocking down, what do I care? But if it's a woman that's going to be a woman, exactly.
That's the difference right there. See, that is the total difference.
Yes.
Now, and a lot of people, especially women, get confused about what a man gonna knock down.
Yep.
And what he wants to be with.
That's it.
We'll knock down any damn thing. Ugly, short, fat, crippled, crazy. It don't make a difference. We're gonna knock it down. Right. Because the whole thing is a nut at the end.
There it is.
And after that, either make me a sandwich, I go to sleep, or I'm going home.
Right.
And they got Ubers now, so it's easy to go home.
Exactly.
So that's the difference, is what you want that chick for.
Yes.
So the reason why I tolerated her in the first incidents of drinking, because I wanted her to be with me. But see, I ignored the signs. That's the thing, where you got to take accountability. I ignored the signs. It wouldn't have even got to that point if I didn't ignore the signs. Like you said, you don't even like a woman that drinks. That's your standard. And like I said, different people and different things. I'm a drinker and stuff like that, and I don't mind socially drinking.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother. But when you get pissy drunk, that's an issue.
That's it.
That's the issue. But I can see where you come from, where I don't even want a woman to drink. And that's why you got to keep your standards.
Yes.
Like you said, well, you can have a drink with dinner and everything like that. No, you don't like a woman that drinks, period.
Yep.
So what's the point of even dealing with a woman that drinks during dinner? Don't even put yourself in that situation, because you know you're not going to like it. So now you're cheating yourself, because now you're knocking your own standards down.
That's it. And that includes a lot of the 420 women, or a lot of the women that we know that got other addictions. I done heard about, chicks loving cane. I'm like, man, there's still chicks out there using the nose candy. And so it's a lot of that stuff going on.
You man, I'm telling you, most of them dancers you see in them strip clubs, when I was out there,
when you was out there, when
I was out there, but I'm not in that lifestyle no more. I'm not in that lifestyle anymore.
Right.
But back in the day,
right. Yeah.
And now with these younger kids, they're taking all these pills and stuff. They don't even know what they're
Yep.
made from.
Yep. And that's
So
that's that standard for me that I knew with my past. I can't handle a woman that I think may get out of her mind. And
yeah,
especially again, like you said, if it's going to be a knockdown situation, it goes into knowing what you want that woman for. So I think y'all got two tips right here. Number one thing we touched on was knowing yourself,
yes,
looking inwardly. Number two, after you go through that process, another thing you need to do is now when you're interacting with a woman post dating, or we'll say post divorce rather, when you're out here dating, you probably wasn't thinking about what you wanted your wife for. That's why you got in the situation you were in. Now that you back out here post 50, why are you spending your time and why are you spending her time? What are you really interested in? Because if a lot of these guys, I don't care whether we talking about church dudes, they like, man, I'm just looking for a wife. But yet they knocking them down. And
yeah,
they ain't hardly looking for no relationship. They looking to knock
no,
something down, but then they going to church on Sunday. And then you got those who say they just want to knock somebody down. Like I done told some ladies, they run into guys that saying, oh, I want to date multiple women. I'm like, no, these dudes don't. They actually want to be in love. They want one girl. They just telling you that because they don't want to get hurt. But
yeah.
they really don't want that life. And
Ooh, save that topic, Devin, on men being hurt
all right,
because when we hurt hard.
we hurt hard, and that's where they
We
start
hurt hard.
have they be disillusioned that I'm gonna keep
Yes.
some distance because if I get too close, she gonna get to me. So let me try to date all these other women.
Yep.
And my
And,
thing is
and,
date
and
as many women
they
as you
get to the
want.
point where they don't care, and they'll go date Josie and Michael and JoJo and
Yep.
all of them just so they don't even have to think about it.
Yep.
But in a man's mind, it hurts because
Yeah.
you invested so much with them, and they don't realize and don't care
Yeah.
and start on it. And a lot of men, that's why I'm glad you have this platform to get them out that hurt and pain.
So go ahead and go
Because,
there. Go ahead and go there on that men hurting.
well, the hurt and the pain comes from uh, it comes from a place where you get to the point where, okay, this is the woman I'm going to be with. You tolerate everything and you put up with everything. And then when they say, you know what, Pookie over here looks way better than you, his rims are shinier than yours, I'm going to go over here. And that hurts. And they can just move on. And sometimes it takes us years to move on.
Mm.
And like my uncle, I'm going to use my uncle example, God rest his soul. His high school sweetheart broke his heart, and he really wasn't with another woman since. And he
Wow.
died at 56 years old.
Wow.
And now I'm only a few years from his age.
Yeah. Wow.
So I know that hurt sticks around and it sticks.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be like that. So that's why I do the things that I do and have the fun that I have. And I have my standards
Yeah.
that I'm not going to put up with, that I'm not going to deal with. It'll save you a whole heartache and pain. But they're going to tell you you're wrong for having those.
Right. I'm glad you paused on that hurt part because I think a lot of guys, again, in kind of a coaching environment, especially, unless you willing to admit that hurt and what you feeling, you can't get back out here. And I mean, you
No,
as a guy, you got to even figure out whether you're gonna leave or whether you stay. Because a lot of these guys, let's say the wife is the one that says she's gonna file for divorce or she wants a separation. If that dude, he's like, well, fine, I'm gonna be free. But if you haven't dealt with that hurt, two things are gonna
yeah,
happen. Number one, as soon as she say, I want you to come back over, boop, 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 they running like Fred Flintstone. And then the other side is going to be if they do get out here and start seeing other women, now they messing up the game for all of us because
yeah,
now you got a hurt dude out here
yeah.
running through other women that are probably likely hurt and haven't done the work
Mhm.
on themselves either. And now they messing those women up, talking about I ain't gonna get back on my wife. And as soon as their wife be like, I want to get back together, because they never
See, we
dealt with
don't
that
we
hurt.
don't start off as Pookie and Ray Rays. We turned into them.
Mm,
We're
mm,
turned into them. Not sometimes not only by them, but by ourselves too.
yeah, yeah, you're
So
right.
that's why I say, like what you've been saying, the working out and having that structure, it gives your mind something else to focus on
Yeah,
and to build on. And like you said, you can see gains and losses, and you can see what you're doing besides just a relationship. Men and women are two different creatures. they're two different creatures and we think differently.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure you maintain your manly side, and you will attract the right woman because the right woman will be attracted to a real man. And a real
Yes.
man has structure. He has
Yes.
intelligence. He has self-confidence. And he has desire to make things good and happy.
Yes. Yes. That's it. And that he should keep that. I hope that's why he got out here. Because he's like, I get a chance to start over. Let me go with that mission
Yeah.
of being happy again, rebuilding myself again.
But see, well, a lot of people, it goes back to what you said before, that laziness.
Yeah.
That laziness and hard work. Today's society is, hey, cut a corner here, cut a corner there, take the shot, take a pill,
Yep.
do this. Everything is to cut a corner and to cheat. I was in the streets doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing, and it was cheating. And until that stopped, and I started doing things the right way, then I realized, oh shit, cheating to do nothing but get me messed up.
Mm. Mm. Why you say
So I'm
that?
not talking about cheating on your spouse. I'm talking about cheating life. And
Ooh.
take the shortcut.
All right. Got it. Now, since you said that, when you look back over your journey, what's one thing that you would do differently if you had to do it all over again?
Man, the one thing that I would do differently is recognize that I really am the one making all the decisions.
Mm.
That I am I'm not saying the end all, the beat all, but I am in control of my life. So if I could have recognized back then the abilities that I have now, it would have been totally different.
Mm.
If I'd have believed, okay, you know what? I'm gonna check. If I'd have believed in myself then, the way I believed in myself now, it would have been totally different. So that's what I would have changed. The belief in myself. So if I had that same belief back then, totally different.
Where did your confidence come from?
Well, I'm arrogant anyway. It comes from my father.
We're gonna get to your father in a minute, actually.
Yeah, but reborning my confidence by me being a fat, chubby kid,
Yeah.
me being a fat dude and stuff like that. I always had some type of thing in my personality where I crack jokes,
Yeah.
or I can fix something, or like I said, I'm a master electrician. So I was always into stuff like that, and there was always a need for me. So me not having that confidence just pushed me on to the side. That's why I started my own business.
Mm.
It pushed me on to the side of, I know I can do this. There's no way I can do that. But I didn't do it in my personal life as far as relationships and stuff go. But as far as the business level, yeah, I was there. Had all the confidence in the world. Quit my job after 10 years and started my own company. So I had that confidence level in that aspect. But as far as a marriage and trying to be with someone who was basically psychotic, bipolar, we make goals to set, and you go back and do something to change it. I wasn't confident in that. I know how to handle that. But if I transferred that confidence over to everything,
Yeah.
it'd be a lot better. That's what I would change.
Wow. All right. So then now looking back, what's one thing that you are so glad you did?
Get the hell away from her. That's one of the things I'm so glad that I did, that I would never change. I have a child by her and everything like that. I'm happy for my child. Me and my son has a great relationship. I'm a grandfather. I have a granddaughter and a grandson. And my son is a good father because he followed not the stuff that I did wrong. He learned from the things that I did wrong, but he kept the things that I did right. So I'm so proud of that. And I'm so glad I left her, because he would have seen me and her argue constantly. He would have seen me and her not do things the way a family's supposed to be. Well, the way in my mind a family's supposed to be. So that's why I'm glad I'm saying I got the hell away from her. I can't say
Wow.
anything bad about her because I chose her from the beginning.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm gonna talk about the things that I should have done. But what I'm glad of, I got the hell away. I'm free. I'm free.
That might have to be the new theme song. The new opening for the show
I'm
might
free.
be you.
I'm free. I'm in the 313 and I'm free. What? All
Right.
right, edit that out, man. Edit that
No,
out.
we
Edit
keeping
that
this
out.
in.
Edit
We
that
keeping
out,
this
man.
in.
Don't put that on there, man.
And actually, you know, we don't have to go deep down this road, but I think it's important because I know I've spoken about you as an example to a lot of people before. Who ended up having custody of your child?
I did because I had custody of my child because there now Devin, we were in your living room when we were having some deep conversations.
Mm.
And one of the questions that was asked, I never forget this, never forget it. You said if we had to break up, who would take custody of my son? And she said me, and she'd rather pay child support. She's gonna live her life and have a good time. And that actually came to pass.
Mm.
It was true. She lived her life and had a good time. We tried to do the joint custody stuff, and my son was late for school, wasn't getting to school on time. And that's some of the things that I value education.
Mm.
And I value on time. CP time is not in my vocabulary. If you on time, you're late. So those are the things she was doing. So I said, you know what? I can't have you do my son like this. This is my son.
Mm.
I can't have you do this and put your negative energy. So when he was 11 years old, I took full custody of him. And
Wow.
he's been doing great ever since.
Wow. So you are
And
part.
she's still been doing the same thing that she was doing back when we first got a divorce.
So you're part of that small minority of men that actually ended up raising his child and got custody.
Yeah.
Man, matter of fact, I'm going to look that up real quick just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
I thought I looked this up recently, but let me just ask Chad
Oh,
here.
and here
Go
come bitter
ahead.
right now. Here comes some bitter. This is the bitter side of Eddie Vance coming out now.
All right, go ahead.
I didn't get not one dime. I did not get one meal. I did not get anything in support of the help raise our child. She told me you were the man and you need to handle that. And I even got so bitter and so angry, I went down to the front of the court and tried to file child support on her. And during the time, this is when my electrical business was just starting out. Because
Mhm.
the reason why we got a divorce, well, one of the reasons, we all people here, we talk. That's when I quit my job to start my electrical business.
Mm.
And she didn't agree with that because I wasn't making that money.
Mm.
So she wanted to leave and she was upset about that. So during that time, I took custody of my son. I was starting my business. Money was very, 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 very tight. We were doing some things that I'm not gonna lie, we were homeless.
Mm.
We were homeless. We ended up squatting in the house together. My son, my brother, and me.
Wow.
And we figured it out. We was only in there for a few weeks. We figured it out, got everything done. And I went down to the front of the court and I said, hey, look, I need help. I need something. They said, you're a man, get another job.
Mm.
I said, what? You telling me, and I really need help, and I'm doing all this, and this is what you telling me? So what that did was it pissed me off.
Yeah.
So now once I got pissed off, so that made me, this is why I'm glad I got rid of her. That made me focus even more on my electrical business. And it's thriving. It
Great.
made the city that I live in say, hey, you're doing so good. We want to hire you.
Wow.
So yeah, best thing that ever happened in my life. Come
Wow.
from the worst thing that ever happened in my life.
Ooh. That might be the title of this episode right there.
I'm gonna start making t-shirts in a minute, man.
I mean, and I just looked it up. Only 17 to 18% of men get custody of their children in divorce. So, I mean, you are really part of a small minority.
Well, I'm an enigma because I'm over 6 feet. I make over 6 figures, and God has blessed me with over,
What, you wear a size 6 shoe? Is that
well, you know what they say about guys wearing big shoes?
They got big shoelaces.
Yeah, we have big socks. You know.
Yeah, you
Hey, I always got to throw a little bit of humor in there. That's just my personality.
that's
I'm
it,
sorry, I
man.
don't want to offend anybody, but if you are, oh well, get over it.
Look, man, yeah, we all about not caring on whether people get offended. The only thing we care about is whether YouTube demonetizes for language or something goofy like that, because they got all
Man,
these
I like
censors.
to slip a curse word in every once in a while. I'm trying not to,
Oh
man.
yeah,
I work in the construction field. You know how
right,
hard it is
right.
for me to not slip in a curse word.
Usually, what's funny is usually it's not so much the curse words because they may allow some of those. It's the other things like you got to change how you put like SA or
Oh
DV
yeah,
or
yeah.
things like that. It's
Well,
like
hold on, man. We from Detroit. We'll make up a term for something that
that's what we're
nobody
gonna have
even
to
knows.
do, right?
Put it in the song and they'll play it on the radio. They have no
Exactly.
idea about brother slang. Cut it out.
Exactly. That's exactly what we'd have to revert to. So I'm gonna do like my man Coach Greg Adams. He always has a whole bunch of these terms that he uses to kind of get around the censors. So we're probably gonna have to do that like peace sleeve or something like
I'm
that.
gonna give you a perfect example of a well-played song that you know what it means.
What?
Ah, skeet, skeet, skeet,
Peace
skeet,
sleeve,
skeet.
right?
Ah, skeet, skeet. Everybody knows what that means.
Everybody knew what that meant. Yep. That wasn't no hiding. That was no hiding in that. All right. Now I got two more questions and we can wrap this up.
All right, come on with it.
I mentioned, asking about your dad. And so here's my question for your dad, or about that pertains to your father.
Okay.
What did your father, and I think this is important. Let me back up for 1 second and explain why I'm asking this question. Oftentimes we know how to do relationships because of what we actually learn from our fathers. I think
Yes.
we find women sometimes that are like our mothers, but we handle the relationship the way we saw dad handle mama.
Okay.
What role do you think your father impacted you?
A lot, because a lot of these kids out here now don't have that father influence, whether it's bad or good. They don't have that man influence there in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these women are raising these boys to become emotional like them.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I thank my father, even though he wasn't the best and the greatest at all, but he showed me this is a man.
Mm.
And he showed me, like, if you want to, it was tough love. Man, you got to remember, we 50. We came up during a different time and era. We drank out the water hoses.
Right,
Well,
right,
we wanted to go outside
right.
and stuff like that. It's totally different now. And a lot of these younger guys and these guys that was raised by their single moms are, oh, my dad wasn't nothing. He wasn't doing this or that. But you don't look at your mom as like, what does she do to keep him away?
Yeah.
So I look at my dad like, okay, he may be a butthead, but he stayed there.
Mm.
He synced it out.
Mm.
Even though they got a divorce and now she's happily married to somebody else, but he's still here in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a struggle because two alphas. I'm not even gonna say alphas, two males.
Yeah.
And as I had to go through it with my son. As a male gets older, he starts to smell himself.
Right.
So he wants to try to take that throne. And one of the problems my father had by him being in this generation, he didn't want to give up the throne.
Yeah.
He didn't want to give it up. He never wanted to retire. See, I'm happy to pass my throne on to my son.
Right.
I'm glad. So now I don't have to be doing all of the stuff that needs to be done to take care of a family. But in my father and his generation, they didn't want to give up that throne. They want to keep it and hold on to it because they're going to be the king forever. They're the greatest.
Now, isn't that actually a good thing now that you say it like that? Because it goes to show you really how strong the OGs were.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
now,
Oh man,
dudes, you almost know you did your job right when he's
yeah.
like, all right, now if you want this, was it Ric Flair? If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
You got it.
Woo! So they letting you know I ain't stepping down easily unless you
Yep.
prove you can take my shoes, and you gonna have to fight me for my shoes. I ain't giving them to you.
Exactly. And see, that's that tough mentality that a lot of this generation and today's times are missing. No matter what my father did to make me upset, to make me angry, to make me despise him at certain points in my life, all was for my benefit.
Mm.
All was for my benefit because now the things that he did wrong, I didn't do with my child.
Mm-hmm.
I corrected that mistake and have a better relationship. Even though our relationship is rocky, but matter of fact, we just got into it about maybe 20 minutes before we got on the line.
Hot off the press.
Hey, hot off the press, but hey, he wanted the challenge and he wanted to step up and challenge. I'm like, whoa, I'm a lion too.
Yeah.
I can do it too. So wait a minute. So I don't know. Now I take it now as a test to make sure I keep my teeth sharp.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
So not to attack him because he doesn't know any better. He's never gonna change.
Right.
He's 180,000 years old. He ain't gonna change no time. So I take that as him keeping my teeth sharp.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. All right, last question, maybe. I'm learning to say from really the influence of my brother and my other friend, there's a difference between information and intel. So as we close, looking back and thinking about your experience, can you give men a piece of information, which is pretty broad and general?
Mm-hmm.
And can you provide them with some intel that's been vetted, that you know is rock solid? And here's the key thing on why this is kind of a tricky question that most men think is information, but they just don't see the wisdom in the game of what you're really laying down.
One, never be emotional with I date women, so I can only speak on women. So I don't want nobody to get offended by that. But don't be emotional with a woman. That's the worst thing you can ever do. Raise your voice, scream, yell, and go back and forth with a woman, no matter how right you are. That's part of my game. It's better just to walk away, go take a breather, go take a walk or ride, listen to some music, get away from that situation. It's volatile because they're dealing with emotions. And most men are supposed to really deal with facts and how it's supposed to. No, that's not the way it's supposed to go down. Don't deal with emotions. You bring an emotion to an argument, you already lost. So don't do that. Now, the second part was what now? I'm sorry.
On the intel, what's been vetted? Or is that your intel or is that your information?
That's my intel. That's my intel.
That's your intel. All right. So information, just in general, what would you tell guys out there that, you know what, this is just kind of a general rule to remember?
Keep your credit straight.
We didn't even talk about money. That's going to be after the next episode.
That's a general rule because you make money, they going to come. Be focused. Be focused on your financial gain and never get complacent at where you at. So make a goal, accomplish it. I don't care if it's daily, weekly, monthly.
Yeah.
Make a goal and accomplish it. Sitting there in front of the video game, arguing with a woman is not going to help you get to your goal.
Yeah.
Because you want these high quality women and not these hood rats and all of that type of stuff. What you have to do is focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. And that starts with good credit. Brush your teeth. Cut all that crap off your head that look like knots and stuff like that.
Now you sound like an old man.
Exactly. See, that's why I'm getting apart from my father, because that's not, society wants you to look that way.
Yeah.
So don't fall into the game of society. You fall into your own game. So don't let the world dictate who you are. You dictate to the world. They're giving you the rules.
Right.
They're telling you what you need to do.
Right.
So go ahead and do it. The first thing starts off with good credit.
Okay.
Good understanding of your finance. That's where a lot of us black people fall down.
Yeah.
Women and men.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. All right, y'all. If you found this to be helpful, like, subscribe, share. Y'all know what everybody always tell you. Nothing is any different. Likes don't cost you a thing. Not begging. I don't have a Patreon set up yet. It doesn't cost a thing to like and share the content. Eddie Vance is gonna be back on. He and I talked about doing this for years,
Oh yeah,
so we
most
finally
definitely.
got it
And
together.
I'm gonna say some more stuff to make y'all really mad because I ain't got started yet. I haven't got started yet.
We really kept it PG this conversation for sure because we didn't go into some other things that it does go in deeper about being single. So I think this was just kind of a real good base level because again, if this was a coaching call, you touched on exactly where I first start out. What do you want? Have you looked inward? Let's start with that inward projection of yourself, looking in the mirror. How do you look physically? What's your mental state all about? And how are you doing emotionally? 'Cause a lot of you guys say you're doing all right, but you're really not doing all right. You in fight or flight mode every time that woman entering the door or when she looks at you and is like, "Can we talk?" And you do, oh, what's she gonna talk about? So
See, I enjoy that. Can we talk? They run away. I say yes. Let's talk.
yeah.
They run away, but I say yes. Let's talk.
You know what's funny, man? I think that's a good one. I'm gonna throw this in because you are 100% right. When I was married, the reason why I hated for her to say, "Can we talk?" Number one, because she was not a great communicator at all.
No,
So I knew that "Can we talk?" means that something might be brought up that happened in 1993.
163. Yeah.
Exactly. And then it's probably not going to be the way that I remember it. It's going to be like, I don't
No,
think
because
that was the conversation we had.
they still mad about that, but want to bring that up because they feel emotional because they feel the same way about what happened in
Right.
63 that happened in 99. So now they want to
Exactly.
bring up that too and now make you feel no, I'm not playing that.
Exactly. And the reason
Okay.
why I hit fight or flight was because I was not honest.
Yeah.
Because now I'm so much in the church mode of happy wife, happy life. I don't want my prayers to be hindered if I did something
That's
to
the
make her
worst
upset.
saying ever invented by the human dialect.
Right.
Happy wife, happy life. What about the man? Don't the
Exactly.
man got to be happy sometimes?
If the man ain't happy, the whole house ain't gonna be happy, and the show ain't gonna run right.
Exactly. As soon as the man come home, it's gonna be trauma. It's gonna be
That's it.
drama.
That's it.
If the
And
man come home, and that's one of the problems too. When the man don't come home, they
exactly.
talk about, oh man, come on, man. We was closing out. We was
I know.
closing out,
So I'm
and
let
we
me
was about to
finish
get
up.
started. Now, see, I want everybody to comment on how big my forehead is and talk about me. And I want everybody to talk about I'm over 50 and I'm wearing gold chains and sunglasses in the house. So all you people that got these negative comments, come at me because I got something for you. 7 Mile all day long.
That's,
Say 313.
that's
So I
something
had
the
to put a little
Detroit
ghetto in
players
there.
know
And this
about.
is spice you up. This is spice you up to put a little ghetto in there. Okay. I
No, man, I
stop.
love it. I love it. Definitely comment below. And let me just finish that last point. The thing is, now that I am a man in my life, in my relationships, doing the work, looking inwardly, that's still always happening and taking place. I don't fear a woman saying, "Can we talk?" If anything, I want her to ask me, "Can we talk?" Because now it gives me a chance to go ahead and it may be something, maybe I did overlook something, maybe I did do
Mm-hmm.
something wrong. No
Mm-hmm.
problem. Let me go ahead and deal with that. But there's no little, a lot of things are just about miscommunication. A lot of
Yes.
things may happen. The
Yes.
woman may be, well, I thought you meant this, or what you said hurt my feelings, or whatever. And, my girl has a thing that she talks about all the time. I would tell a woman with the quickness, that ain't me. That's for your boyfriend. And
Yep.
so, because I didn't want no woman getting the impression, like, just because we going out, I ain't your man. Because I want my freedom. I'm gonna do what I do. And then when she told me, she said, well, she did it. Well, I'll never forget. We rolling down the freeway. She was like, "Can we talk?" And this is the first time she had ever said anything like that. And then I was like, "Go ahead." And she said, "You know what? It really hurts my feelings when you say that's for your boyfriend because it really makes me feel like you're detached. You don't really want to be involved with me, etc." And so she broke it down. I didn't trip. And what was
Nope.
funny is when I didn't trip, and I was like, well, this is why I say that. I broke it down, explained it to her. And for her, she said that was such a pivotal part of our relationship because number
Mm-hmm.
one, I didn't do, what they call daring. I didn't defend, explain. I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
forgot what it all
Deflect.
stands for. But basically, I didn't do like most married men like, well, no, what I meant was see,
Nope.
no, girl, I do want to be with you. No, I was honest about how I felt about it and
That's
said,
what
you
I
know what?
said.
I'm gonna try not to do that because I'm not doing that to hurt you. I'm doing
Yes.
that because I do want to keep a separation of what my role is, the role
Mm-hmm.
I want to have with you, and the role I want you to have with me. And
Yes.
she looked at that, was like, wow, I never I'm used to a guy acting differently when we had these conversations. I'm like, no, I'm not running from these convos because it gives me an opportunity to either correct myself or correct the woman. And
Yeah,
like the Isley brother said, baby, ain't nothing but smooth sailing tonight after that point.
because you got to grow. Because
Yes.
the only way you can grow is through communication.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw in a quick story
Go ahead.
uh, along the same lines. I had a female that me and her was cool. We was kicking it, but she liked wearing stripper glitter.
Mm.
She liked putting stripper glitter all over. So I said, look, I don't like that. First, it gets all in my sheets, it gets all over my clothes, and I'm just dealing with strippers.
Right.
And you're not a stripper, so why are you putting this stuff on? And I don't like it. So would you please stop liking it? You're not letting me be me. Well, I tell you what, when you be with me, don't put it on. And if you can't do that, you be you by yourself.
Yeah.
So after I had that conversation, guess what? She just stopped putting it on when she was around me.
Boom. That's it.
So there was no, well, you telling me I just not be me. No, I'm not telling you that.
That's
I'm
it.
just telling you I don't like it.
Yeah.
Now she had enough respect for me to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Just like she told me I smoke cigars.
Mm.
Hey, I don't like the smell of your cigars. Would you please stop smoking cigars around me? I don't smoke cigars around her.
Boom.
That's an open communication and
Yes.
dialogue, and I respect you enough to appreciate your communication with me.
Yeah.
And if it's something I want to stop or something I can do to continue dealing with you, I will do it. So when I ask you something, don't twist your face up, and because you just want to constantly do it,
That's
have
it.
enough respect to stop doing it.
That's it. That's it. Love it, man. Love it. That's the way to
Yeah,
close
okay,
it out.
man. We're gonna be on here another 3 hours, man. Get off,
Oh,
get off the line, man.
we gonna be we're gonna continue this, y'all. This is only the first part of this. We're gonna try to do this regularly, maybe even at least bi-weekly, depending on how schedules go. So again, like, subscribe, as they say, hit that notification bell when new content gets out there. We getting the channel launched. Eddie Vance, thank you, my brother.
Man, they eavesdropping on our conversations, man. I feel like the government listening in here. They gonna have so many negative comments about me. I don't care though. Let them do.
No, man, because we know what game recognizes game. So the real fellas that understand that we really trying to reach, those are the main ones.
But
We
you
know
know
they ain't
what?
gonna
It's
do that.
not the real fellas I want to reach. It's the ones that's lost now.
Mm,
So come on with the negative comments. You come on with your negative energy. You bring it to us. And I'm not trying to convince you of my lifestyle. I'm just trying to convince you what you can possibly be. So
sure.
like and subscribe.
Love it.
Eddie
Love it.
Vance out. Somehow.
I'm
Cut that
gonna
out,
stop
man.
it
Cut
right
that
there
out.
with that.
Hey, edit that, man. Edit that. That was